let's start basics of real numbers. Basics of real numbers. Okay, so first we know about some little numbers before going to the our main topic, basically, which is the fundamental. So now it was our first which is what is the natural number. Okay, sorry for the writings. Natural numbers. Okay, so natural numbers are like countable numbers which are naturally exist, like in 1, 2, 3. These are pen is 1, so these are naturally exist numbers. Okay, so like 1, 2, 3 up to n infinity, basically. So that's why we these are natural numbers, like in counting numbers, and we use denote the natural numbers, we use the capital letter of n, that is denoted by n, or simply this. Okay, second thing is our whole numbers. What is the whole numbers? Okay, if we, these are the natural numbers. Okay, now if we include 0 in the natural numbers, this is 1, 2, 3. After including the 0 number, the new series of this number we called whole numbers, so we denote by w. Okay, this is the whole number denoted by w. And third is which is integer. Okay, integer numbers. Now so we know about the natural numbers, we know about the whole numbers. Okay, if we flip out the numbers, for example, this is our number line. Okay, number line, basically the line which show the numbers in line way. So this is our middle point O, this is 0, and now it is 1, it is 2, it is 3. Okay, the backward, for example, you go first from 0 to you go plus 1 step right hand side, you reach the point 1. Then the flip, if you go backward plus 1 backward, which is say minus 1 direction, you get the minus 1, means you go the backward direction. So means we flip the numbers. So if we flip the natural whole numbers, we get the integers. We now, if you flip the, this is the 0 number, so this is 1, 2, 3 up to so on. Okay, now we flip the all numbers like this way. Let's make minus 1 basically minus 2 and minus of 1 and 0. Okay, so now the whole series is called integers and denoted by sometimes integers or simply z, if you are comfortable with I or z, that's your choice, but normally say I and z. Second thing is, if you talk about the integer which are positives, we denoted by I positive slash z positive. So the line which in the z is basically distinguish the numbers from normal alphabetical orders. For example, simply z in the direction, and sorry, direction, right, mistake, sorry, for example, this is the z. Okay, and now simply the both are z, so we distinguish from the integer, we got this. For integer we got this, anything. Okay, so the positive integers basically are I positives, which is integers, is 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 is positive integers, means which are non-negative. Okay, means which are basically non-negative. Positive integers means which are non-negatives. So 0 is neither positive nor negative, but actually the non-negative. Okay, so that's why which are non-negative, basically positive, which are non-negative are called positive integers. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the simplest way. And I negative, which are non-positive numbers. So again 0, minus 1, minus 2 up to this is non-negative positive integer, basically. And now we talk about even numbers. We know even numbers are 2 and v, which is 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 6, 2. If n equal to 0, this become even number. And for odd number, to n plus of 1 minus 1 basically, so it become 1, 3. If you want n is equal to 1, 0, 1, 2, become, and 1 become 3 or 1, so it become 5. Okay, and so it become 5, and if we put 3, we get 7. Okay, these are integers. And prime numbers now is the next, denoted by p, odd. So prime numbers, which are say like whose factors are only 1 or that number. For example, if 3, how many factor of is 3, which is 3 into 1. We factorize the value 3, which is 3 into 1. So basically it has only two factors. Either it is first is 1 and second is that number. So this type of numbers, basically we say that is if n is a number, if p is a prime numbers, okay, and the factors of p are 1 and then number, okay, that is it has only two factors. SCF, basically two factors which are 1 and that factor, that number basically. Okay, this is called prime numbers. And co-prime numbers, they are all basics you know already. Okay, co-prime numbers are like 4. 2 is a prime number, okay, because it has only one factor. So co-prime number, it has more than two factors. Like 4, we factorize the 4 like 4 in 4, which is 2 into 2, 4 into 1, and 2 into 2, 4 into 1, 1 into 4 basically, or any other way, more way. Again we multiply this, it has more than one factor, which is 1. Okay, this is 2 into 2 into 1 anyway. So these are not okay. So this is, it has 3 factor basically, which is again 2 into 2 into 1, and which is again 1 into 2 into 2. Both are same thing. Okay, so it has more than 2 factors, that's why we call this the co-prime number. Okay, it has more than 2 factors, it is more than 2 factors, more than 2 factors. Okay, and irrational numbers denoted by C, capital number basically. Irrational numbers, okay, first irrational number, okay, no, let's jump direct to irrational number before going to the rational number. Irrational numbers is I negative, I positive, basically whatever you say, but we say this q not. So all these numbers which are not in the form of, basically which are in the form of p upon q, we know it is the rational numbers. But if the numbers are written in the not form of not written in the form of p by q, that is not in the form, okay, not in the form, so we call it is irrational numbers, like not recurring, basically which are not repeat, and it's continuously flowing and up to infinity. Like for example we say pi, and which are not in the form, not in the form, and which is not recurring, that is again thing is not recurring, not recurring. So it is called the in irrational numbers, they like in pi, whose value is 3.1459 up to so on, up to infinity, up to, and like e, which is 2.1758 something, and similarly 2.71 basically, sorry, my mistake, 2.7 e, which is 2.71, and root 2, which is 1.41, and all root 3 like in this. And similarly or we can say that it is like the form of, they both are not recurring. Okay, and at last is rational numbers. Rational numbers. Okay, rational numbers are which in the form of p upon q, where q is not equal to 0. If q is 0, there is infinity, like 1 upon 0 is tending to infinity. Not basically, it was the form of not defined basically the form of it, but sometimes we call this tending to infinity, that's why we call not defined. And similarly for 1 upon something large values tending to 0, not exactly tending to 0. Similarly for is the very small values, like in the denominator has very small value, this goes up to infinity, that's why we call tending to infinity, but basically the not defined. Okay, 1 upon 0 not defined, we can't say the word, we can't define. Okay, that's why we say tending to. Okay, now so which is the form of p upon q not equal to 0. So if we write, we can, and p upon q both are integers, simply that. Okay, so these are called the prime numbers. Example of it is any number, basically 1, 2, 4 upon 3, and they are recurring. Okay, some after some point they repeat or they cancel, they completely stop. 4 upon 3, anything else, so it is called rational numbers. And at last it is complex numbers. Complex number denoted by z, that's why we use integer in I. Okay, we also use this complex number z or c sometimes. Okay, the complex number are with the form of a plus of iota b, where iota is the root of -1. Basically if we say x square plus of 1 is equal to 0, so x become plus minus of under root minus of 1. So now this under root minus of 1 become iota, that's why we define this term as iota. That's why we call this, you introduce a complex number where a and b are both belonging to real numbers. We talk about what is the real number, but basically, so this is the form of complex number. And at last, what is the real numbers? So real numbers are all these terms like natural, whole, integer, prime number, co-prime numbers, irrational numbers, rational numbers is called real numbers, not complex numbers. Okay, so what is real numbers are? So all the numbers with a subset of this. Okay, subset means the members of, that is all the numbers. If we collect all the numbers, like in all numbers, like a collectively all numbers. Okay, all collectively numbers, collect the numbers, so we get the set, basically the collection, which is called we get the collection of these numbers called real numbers. Okay, basically real numbers we denote it by r. Okay, and r has connection of like in natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, even, odd numbers, prime numbers, co-prime numbers, and irrational numbers, rational numbers, which denoted by q. Okay, which is q not this. Okay, and this and complex numbers are the complex numbers has collection of real numbers. Okay, so it is the collection of real numbers. So these are some topics, I hope you understand. And this is the again summarize. Natural numbers are countable, and whole numbers include 0. Integers are flip the natural number, whole numbers, and even, so we know 2n or 2n plus of 1. Prime numbers simply like in has only 2 factors. Co-prime numbers has only more than 2 factors. Irrational, p by q not in the form, not recurring, and rationals are recurring and p upon q form. And we got the complex number, real numbers are a subset of this. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you understand, please like, share and subscribe the channel. Bye bye, we will meet next week. These are all basics you necessary to know, and then in the next class we talk about the fundamental of mathematics, basically the fundamental theorem of mathematics, we see Euclid theorems and both theorems, Euclid-Lemma and all things, and we do more and more questions for understanding the real numbers, which is the basic concept of real analysis. That was good. I hope you understand. Bye.